Hello.
Hey Lee, I'm glad you joined. It's
Uh,
funny, I clicked the record button and I think you did it at the same time. And I thought, oh wow, it works. And then I realized it was you.
well, yeah. Anyway, I can give you the access and we can do that all that
All good.
next time.
All right, look at all these new faces.
Yeah,
Great
exactly.
to have you all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just wait a few more minutes and then we can get started. All right. I think we can get started. Folks might trickle in, but this session is being recorded, so we'll upload this to YouTube and people can watch it later as well. Great, thank you all for joining. It's great to see all the new faces here. We run this every Thursday at this time. So you're all more than welcome to join every week. And really the purpose of this meeting is to just touch base, if we have any announcements that relate to the dev community, we'll usually talk about them here. But it's also a check-in just to see how everyone's doing. If you have any questions, we've got some of the core team members here. We have Jack and Ganesh, and we have Peter and Lee here today. And any questions you want to ask us, this is the place to do it. And I'm curious, of all the folks here, how many, and you can just put this in the chat, who is actually participating in the hackathon right now? I'd love to know, what you're up to. Okay, we've got a few hands. Great. And this was also intended for the hackathon, for people who are maybe new to the ecosystem. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions, so this is the place to come and chat. Great. Very nice. Okay, so we have a few folks here. So Peter, you've seen his name. He's been running the show for the hackathon. We've got a bunch of things planned, and I want to quickly hand it over to Peter just to talk about how things are going with the hackathon and talk about what to expect in the kind of coming days and weeks.
Thanks, Giv. First off, welcome to all of the developers that are joining for the first time. We're excited that you're here. We're super excited for how the hackathon's going so far. We have a lot of registrants and are excited to see what you guys are going to build. Our job is to support you, but we also need your help to figure out exactly how to best support you. And to do that, we want to invite you guys, and I'll make an announcement today, to go to the team submission page and submit your teams. And that way we can keep track of each of the teams and do check-ins with you. And it's to your benefit so that we can provide really bespoke white glove support as you guys need it. For the hackathon, we're also doing a number of workshops. We announced one this morning, how to build a simple app on Harmony. So make sure that you guys go to hack.harmony.one and look at the calendar. Click on the card for today, and then you'll see a link to the workshop. In addition to the workshops, we also have a number of panels where we've interviewed thought leaders from blockchain as well as from other and also traditional finance and other areas of blockchain. And that's for kind of your entertainment as well as education. And so make sure that you also check those out. Other than that, please stay on top of Discord and make sure that you've also registered on Gitcoin, because I'll be making the same announcements. The announcements I make on Discord, I'll make the same announcements on Gitcoin. But registering on Gitcoin is really important because at the end, that's actually how we're going to do payouts. And so if you've not registered on Gitcoin, then that could be a problem for you if you win. So make sure that you've registered on Gitcoin, and you'll find all the links in the announcements channel, and I've pinned all of it. And of course, I'm on Discord all the time. So if you need any, have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks, Gib.
Thanks, Peter. We have actually a question. Someone's asking if there can be a team of one. Can you talk about some of the limitations around what constitutes a team?
Yeah, that's a good question. We've gotten a couple of those questions. The only stipulation we have in the FAQ section is that there are teams at most of 4, meaning that there can only be at most 4 people on a team. There are a couple of exceptions, and if you feel like you need an exception, come to me, and then we can make that exception. A team of 1, yes, we allow that, though we prefer that you at least have a team of 2. And the reason for that is, we've seen the quality of these submissions go up as you have more people involved. And so just, consider that if winning is important to you and taking your creation past the hackathon into user acquisition, growing it as a product, and earning something out of your creation is important to you, then think about creating a team. That way, the quality of your submission will be better.
That's right. Yeah, and we have a growing list of participants now in our Airtable grid that you'll find the links in Discord. Peter's pinned them. So go ahead and browse and just look at the different profiles. I know there are a ton of developers who are still wanting to join teams and vice versa. And there are teams looking for developers. So, do go through, reach out to them, just start a conversation. And like Peter said, having a collaborator on a project can completely change the game for you, right? So that's highly encouraged that you find like-minded folks who can kind of realize your vision. That's right. Yes. Thanks, Dylan. There are a lot of developers who aren't actually registered in the hackathon. You should encourage them. If you know other developers, please let them know. This is a rolling hackathon. They can register anytime, right? That there's no deadline on when they can join and participate. So if you have friends, colleagues who you think would benefit from joining this hackathon, please let them know. So, I wanted to use, thanks, Peter. Yeah, the link to the registrations in the chat. I wanted to use the next 50 minutes just to kind of open up the floor and see if there are any questions. For starters, feel free to chat or actually turn on your microphones and discuss. But also, if you have an idea, maybe you want to pitch it here, that's totally fine as well. Or just introduce yourselves. If anyone's brave enough to do that, I'm gonna give you some time to see who wants to chat. If not, I'm going to have to start calling some people. Victor, I see you. you want to come on and let us know what you're working on?
Oh, hey guys, Victor here from Singapore. Yeah, I'm working with Dennis and Guru on an application called what's Powerbomb. It's a DeFi application to allow you to basically transfer your funds across and earn interest on that.
Great, nice.
Just very quick.
And Victor, I know you're relatively new to the ecosystem. For the folks who are just learning about Harmony, for developers specifically, what sort of advice would you have for them? Like, how can they get started? How did you get up and running quickly? Because I know you started off with working on a couple of bounties for us, and now you're in this hackathon. You found a team, and you're kind of deep into the development.
Yeah, correct. So for me, the way I started with Solidity development, I just did a bunch of tutorials online. I know that Harmony One have a lot of really interesting tutorials there. Some of them I wrote as well. So just self-promotion there. So I did a few bounties. I did a few hackathons and just got to know the community. And that's how I met Give and a few others as well. So yeah, that's how I really started.
That's right. And you know, we and the rest of the team, we have Ganesh here, we have Jack, you know, we are on all the channels, right? So if you have any specific questions, you know, you're stuck somewhere, and we have a dev community, the developer captains who are also ready to kind of help you out. So whether you post your questions on the forum, in Discord, on Telegram, you know, we're very approachable and friendly. So feel free to reach out to us and ask questions, and we'd be happy to help you. Anyone else? Does anyone else want to chat about what they're working on? Maybe any issues you're running into, any questions about the hackathon? No worries. I know it might be a bit intimidating with all the folks here listening. But so one of the things. Oh, yep. Who's that?
There's a few chatters on the chat. Gabe, you're gonna
Yeah. If you, Jack, do you want to maybe read through those and see if you want to highlight and answer any of them?
Yeah, sure. I see the links over there. I think Dylan, you have a link to a forum discussion. Did you go through that already, or do you want to talk more about that? Sorry, Dylan, if you're speaking, I think you're on mute.
No worries. So, you know, one of the things that we're going to be doing in the coming weeks is for all the teams who are actually formed and they're starting to work on their projects, we're going to schedule check-ins, right? This is where, you know, every week the teams will, and we'll give you guidelines on what the check-ins look like, but you will be able to post an update, like a progress update on your project, maybe some of the challenges that you're running into. And then every week we can check in with you and see if you need any help, if you're stuck, or anything else that you need to kind of move forward. So keep an eye out for that. I'm sure Peter will keep you all informed in Discord. So, you know, keep an eye out for that. You know, one of the other things I wanted to mention is that we do have this audio channel in Discord, and this is really just like an informal water cooler kind of in a coffee shop scenario where you just feel like chatting to some people to find out what they're doing. That's a really good place. The other day, Jack, Peter, and I, and some of the other folks were in there, and it's just really nice to, you know, just to speak to people. So feel free to use that. I'm not sure if everyone's aware of that audio channel.
So Dylan was AFK earlier, so I think he's back.
Yeah, Dylan, did you want to share something?
Sure, yeah. Hi. So last night, actually, there was a lot of people who were coming to my LinkedIn because we put it on that billboard. And when people come to you and they have a bunch of questions like, what is your project? Do you have a team yet? And all those types of things. I just want to let everybody know that like there is a lot of talent that is looking for a bunch of teams, and it got us thinking like, can we come up with a couple of ideas because people are looking for strong ideas. So you mentioned like if there's ideas out there. So I made a post on the Harmony Talk site. And it was something fun we were dabbling with, but we didn't want to take it seriously because we don't have the time because we're already working on Alexandria on my team. But there was this NASDAQ of DAOs idea that we were kind of playing around with, which was like, there's like a coin market cap, but once DAOs become more popular and their shares of their coins become like actual shares of their entire DAO, how do you kind of fluctuate that as a market? It was something fun to work with. It's all sorts of ideas and all sorts of creativity. So if you want to like get together in a think tank, I wanted to talk about how we can actually start coming up with ideas, because maybe people are stuck on what do I build? What's the best thing to build? How do I not lose traction in the hackathon? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and thanks for that, Dylan. And Khalid in the chat here has mentioned that he's not a developer, and that's totally fine. This hackathon is definitely not just for developers. We've got a bunch of folks who come from a business background, marketing, product. They may have ideas, or they may just like be individual contributors, right? Like definitely reach out to projects that sound interesting to you. Don't be don't be shy. Don't worry if you're not a developer and you don't understand the tech, because there's a lot more that goes into building these applications than just coding. So reach out to the teams that you find interesting and see how you can contribute. Great. Yeah, for sure. So a couple of questions. There's some stuff unrelated to the hackathon. Bitcoin Bridge, that's always a popular question. So the update that we have for Bitcoin Bridge is that we have a dedicated team working on it right now. This is a very complex project, as you can imagine. But we're on schedule. Again, we have a team who's working on this full time. So we'll have updates for you around the timelines and when you can expect to kind of see that product. Ganesh, is there anything else you wanted to add about that project?
No, you are pretty accurate. Thanks.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah. We're working very hard. And in fact, if you're really interested, there's a repo in GitHub. Everything's tracked there, completely open and transparent. If you want to see what stage it's at, you can see all the issues in GitHub, and you can follow along, right? So that's where you would look if you wanted to learn more about that specific project. Okay, anything else? Lee, is there anything else you wanted to add around maybe the hackathon or anything else around the ecosystem that you think folks here would find useful? Sorry to put you on the spot.
No worries. Hey, good to see everyone. Thanks for joining the call. Yeah, I think you guys covered all the main points of the hackathon. We're just very excited to see projects being built. So I think maybe some of the things that I can just emphasize is that we really hope that the projects can go on and build after the hackathon as well. So the way that we set up the structures, there with our partner DoraHacks, there's going to be both a community voting and as well as a group of 50 or 60 VCs from the crypto space who may be looking at, they're actively investing, and so they'll look at the projects that win, they'll look at the projects that are ranked high by the community, and potentially even make some investments following the hackathon. So we're really excited, not just for everyone to try building Harmony and building, but also to even form projects, companies, DAOs after the event has ended in September, and just keep building. So and also part of the way the prizes are structured is that the prizes also have a grant portion, and that grant is actually for the next 4 months follow on if projects hit certain milestones. And all this is actually written in the prize guide as well. So we're actually looking for projects to really launch on mainnet with 1,000 users, get external funding, and also create DAOs for either, it could be, you know, NFT, DeFi, everything has a ability to be formed in a DAO form, and then have 100 active participants in your DAO is one of the criteria. So these are just some of the things to look forward to, right? After obviously working the 6 weeks with the teams and then submitting the project, getting the judges, but continuing to build, because you know, I think this is actually the best time to be building in Web3 right now. And for people who are coming into Web3, it's an also amazing time. The growth is incredible, but we're also not even at 1% yet in terms of people who actively use DeFi NFT products. So yeah, I think that's really exciting.
Great. Thanks, Lee. Dylan, I know you have a question. I just wanted to quickly answer. Daniel asked a question in the chat that I missed. I'm sorry. The question was around whether we'll see previews of the hackathon projects. And the answer is yes. So we are going to be creating a showcase of all the projects as they trickle in. That will be public. It will include, you know, as well as including information about the projects. There'll be walkthroughs, walkthrough videos that you can look at. But yes, as soon as those come in, we will actually have a showcase page that will display all the you know, the projects that are being worked on and have completed. Sorry, Dylan, you had your hand up.
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of go over the whole DAO thing, because that was, you know, we're all focused on development. We're all trying to think about how we're going to launch this contract, because it's a one and done thing. And then there's another layer that we want to add, which is, of course, a DAO that kind of manages this portal. There was a lot of talk on Twitter that was talking about, hey, if I launch a coin or if I launch a project, you know, should a DAO be attached to it that kind of manages this open source thing that's just kind of being ruled by random people? But the governance of that and how it how it organizes itself, I think that's a little kind of all over the place. Like the information on DAOs specifically is, it's hard to find information actually on it, because there's so many people working on it, because they're trying to develop what is the initial idea. So I know that in some of our telegrams, we look at like tech stacks of kind of what constitutes as a DAO, but I just want to be really clear, like, where can we find the information where it's kind of put into one place, where it's like, you know, organize it maybe like in this kind of way, figure out your rules, figure out your X, Y, and Z's. Is there anything like that that we can kind of share with people so that they can know how to do that?
I don't, yeah, I'm not sure. Lee, do you have any thoughts on that?
You want DAOs on Harmony or DAOs in general?
DAOs in, well, specifically to make DAOs in Harmony, because I was listening to the chat and they were saying, or I listened to Steven's video yesterday, and he was talking about how, you know, he has a vision of making 100 DAOs in Harmony at least, and thousands of participants involved in those things. And I was like, that's a lot of DAOs. That's a lot of, I don't know how we're going to make that many DAOs. So, you know, just because like I have a DAO technically, you know, we create our own DAO. It's just people, I guess, are a little like confused on what constitutes as one, because I know that there's some regulation to it. Like in our own stratosphere, we have to say, all right, the DAO has to have at least X ether, it has to have this many people, you know, these are the rules, these are the things, this is where they exist. So I know it took a while for me to do all that research, and there's a couple of examples that kind of pieces that together. And it would be really great because then teams can start getting together and feeling comfortable doing decentralized work online, which has been really helpful for our team too. Because that's another thing I want to talk about is like the benefit of a DAO in general.
Yeah.
We could talk about it all day, but it's actually amazing how it actually works.
Right.
And it's surprisingly extremely efficient to get work done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think DAOs are the future for sure. I'm not sure. We have some documentation and write-up about how we think about DAOs, and we have keynotes, but honestly, the space is growing so quickly that there's no like, I don't think there's one master resource that you can go to, but there are many. There's so many articles and people are experimenting. That's the beauty about DAOs. Like the way we get to 100 DAOs is there are 26 people on this call, right? Each of us will start one, and then we'll help our next 5 friends start one. That's all gonna be driven by the community, and you can see that from probably the Ethereum community already. But for us, like Harmony, we are also intentionally starting a few DAOs for the Harmony Foundation and ecosystem and protocol around community, around validators, around developers. So yeah, I mean, I think yeah, that's a good link, Koopa. But there are many. I mean, we don't need to turn this into a DAO call per se, because we actually have another one tomorrow that Sam is doing, our DAO guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for the hackathon, any questions we can put into Discord, we can put in even to forum on how, like in the talk.harmony.1 in the hackathon channel, about how to create, not just create DAOs, but also like how to scale them.
This is a question for Peter from Vim. He's asking how many participants there are in the hackathon and what we can do to get more people on board.
So as of right now, there are 498 people registered. And I don't know how many teams that is, and hopefully people form teams and submit their teams in the team submission form. But it's not so much can we get more new people. Like what we really care about is like really great submissions. If we get 498 registered and we get, let's say, I don't know, maybe 40 teams submit a project, it would be amazing if those 40 submissions also get funded at the end. And so think of it as a funnel like that. We want to see really, really high quality submissions that go on mainnet that gets 1,000+ users, and the creators themselves of these applications make a lot of money on their applications, and that can help support themselves and their family. That's the goal. And so let's focus on that. If you're a developer, amazing. We're glad that you're on board, and we want to see you build some good stuff.
Great, thanks, Peter. And I want to use that as a segue to introduce Sahil. Sahil, and I don't want putting you on the spot here as well, but I was hoping you can just come and say hello to everyone, all the new folks here. And yesterday we talked about what the goal of this hackathon is long term, right? Around thinking of it as an incubator of sorts, and how we're going to help not just reward these projects for becoming winners of the hackathon, but thinking long term, how we're going to support, how we're going to incubate and make sure kind of these turn into thriving, successful ventures, right? So I'll hand it off to you to kind of share your thoughts there.
No, thanks, Kim. I think Peter also shared that we want to think of it as, okay, great, 500, we're thankful for 500 people to sign up. and there's tremendous opportunity. We've set some direction of topics that developers might feel excited about or would be successful in. I think the key problem is we want to solve is for giving developers the opportunity to build things which will make them successful, which will help them get users, which will help their applications be, adding to the Harmony ecosystem. And while we do that, we don't want everyone to think like this hackathon is a 6-week transaction. Not at all. I think we're welcoming everyone to come in and build something cool. We'll give all possible resources. We'll be there 24/7 on Discord. We'll give you the financial resources as well. But then we want you to think big, launch on mainnet, go acquire users. Lee shared this as well, that how we want to be there for you even after you've deployed on mainnet, after the hackathon's over. And then even beyond, Give, I think you've been working with the developer captains. There's so many opportunities to be a part of the ecosystem, whether there's a developer DAO, if you want to full-time work with Harmony on core protocol or anything, we're totally open to that. So I just want to, I think, give a shout to your enthusiasm, but also at the same time, mention that think big, think of course, about launching something big on mainnet, acquiring users, getting all the help you need from us. That's something we guarantee. And then, stay with us and get to meet the entire engineering team through the course of the next 6 weeks. I think that's something that we all care about, and we want to drive that differently in this hackathon. So those are some of the thoughts, and we'll keep on finding you along the way. If just come and drop and say hi if you wanna. We'll have these developer calls every Thursday, like you've said. But other than that, also we're happy to do one-on-one check-ins with any of the teams. If you want any guidance, any mentorship, if you're building, let's say, a DeFi protocol or NFT, and you want to brainstorm on features or anything, we're all there, to jump on one-on-ones with you as well. So let us know.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Sahil. Well, that's exactly right. The whole purpose of this hackathon is not to not only to kind of help you create your projects and your vision. It's really to kind of create new relationships with developers. We are thinking about this long term. We want you to be part of the ecosystem. We want to get you involved beyond the hackathon, right? So this is really a way for you to introduce you to the ecosystem, to all the people and the community. But we want to continue to working with you. So we're looking forward to that. Okay. So a couple of conversations happening in chat. Thanks, Jack, for addressing those. Anything, I'd like to just open it up. Anything else? Any questions that you may have, just in general, about either the hackathon, dev-related questions, non-dev-related questions? Let us know. All good. Everyone's too shy.
There were a few folks that joined towards the last 5-10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want to raise your hand or introduce yourselves about what you're doing? Or any questions on what you may have missed?
I actually wanted to ask, are there any developers here who have registered for the hackathon and they're having a hard time finding projects to work on, and vice versa? Are there any projects here, any kind of teams looking for developers and they're not able to do that? Anyone? Okay, I mean, if you do, let us know. Like I said, we've created these tools where you can browse and find a match. But if you're still struggling, just reach out to us. We may be able to kind of help you as well, because we hear from different folks and what they're looking for. So we may be able to do a bit of matchmaking there as well. Paolo, that's right. Yes, you just please go ahead and register. Again, even if you're not a dev, don't be discouraged. Definitely go and register, and you never know. You may find a project that matches your skill set.
So there's somebody in the chat. There's a couple of people who are kind of reflecting what you just said too. So there are captains who can develop, and there are a lot of developers who are in Discord and who haven't actually posted anything to the hackathon. Yeah, because there's a few people who are trying to do some outreach to try to find like a long-term team. So it's long-term versus short-term. I think that's like the point of the project. You'll find like that the project will probably become a long-term project once you start building it. At least that's been my experience so far, is that the project develops over time and the team gets stronger. And if the team wants to work on it longer, then they will. You can't really guarantee a long-term until you start working on something, or if you have a really strong plan for something. I'm just kind of answering some questions as I see them inside of the chat.
Yeah, and again, kind of going back to what we were saying before with Sahil, is that we are hoping that you will think about these projects long term, right? And we're going to try and help you through support and through funding to make sure that you do think beyond the hackathon, that you actually do, and think of this as a startup incubator, right? We're kind of helping bootstrap you here, and then you are going to go and raise more money for your startup, hire more people, and turn it into a company.
Harmony has all the resources too. It has the blockchain, it has the contract interoperability, it has everything going for it. It's and it's also got like a huge community of people who are all kind of looking for the right thing. So I guess I'm going to say it too, like, don't be afraid to express your idea right now, because I can kind of feel that there's a vibe in the chat where it's so many people have a good idea, but they don't want to talk about it because they don't think it's strong. But just say it anyway, because you don't know until you, right? Because even Steven said, like, isolation is a dream killer. If you isolate your idea and you think it's not good enough, or if you think it's not strong enough, trust me, like, some people have no idea what they even want to start building. So we want to help, because it's fun to try to create the idea in general. That's my opinion about it, but please express what you want to make, because absolutely. It looks like Tang wants, sorry, I'm not.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Hi, can I speak?
Of course.
Okay, so this is great. Thank you very much. I'm joining this for the first time. But, I've been sort of mingling with the Harmony team and some of the, the key developers. So I'm working on, this is my first hackathon at Harmony. I'm working on an idea. I mentioned that I'm a team of one because I just didn't have the bandwidth to go find developers. I'm on Discord, but I have other things also, so I just don't have enough time to locate people. It would be great if there is a specific channel on Discord, or should I just blast saying, hey, this is what I'm working on, or if somebody's interested, how do I sort of socialize that? Because I agree, there are ideas, and then they get better over time, and every project starts as a little thing, and then as you evolve and get more brain cells in it, it sort of grows out to be a bigger thing, right? So, it would be great for me to find out where I should kind of, find ways to talk to other developers who are interested, who, or, are exploring ideas, and see if there is, melding of minds there.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for sharing that. So yes, in Discord, we have a channel. Thanks for sharing, Ed. Team formation. So you can go, and that's where everyone is talking and having conversations around their vision, and if you're a developer, talking about your skill set. So feel free to go in there. But I actually recommend, if you have a very clear idea of what you want to build, go to the forum and articulate your vision there. Actually write it out. Talk about what it is that you want to build, what problem it's solving, and then what kind of skill sets you're looking for. And then you can go and share the link to your post on various channels, including Team Formation. You can go on Telegram, anywhere else that where there's activity. But I think you need to first articulate what it is that you're looking for, what you want to build, and then they will come, right? That's my opinion, that if you want to attract the right people, you need to be very clear what it is that you want to build first, versus just putting together a team for the sake of putting it together, right?
Okay, cool. Thank you. I saw the channel on Discord, so I'll start posting there as well.
Great. Yeah, the forum's a good place to have kind of like longer conversations, threaded conversations. Discord, it's more like just chatter, right? So you can use both. All right. Anything else? Any other questions? No worries. Okay, I mean, we can wrap up early. This happens every Thursday, like we said, so please join next week. And I'm hoping by next week, some of you have made some progress on your projects or finding teams. I'd love to hear about that. So have fun. You know where to reach us. We're really excited about this new influx of developers kind of joining the ecosystem. We're excited to see what you're all going to build. We're watching it very closely. And yeah, keep an eye out for Peter's announcements on how to submit your projects, how to tune into various workshops that we have and panels and whatnot. So yeah, enjoy, have fun, and we'll see you all next week. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, folks.
Bye.